and welcome to Ham Sunday from the desk of Lady Ada.
Hey everybody, and welcome to Ham Sunday. This is the day where I get to play with the electronics I want to. I have a couple hours on Sunday to noodle around, and so I thought I would do some more playing with the Tytera MD-380, which is the DMR radio that I picked up about a month ago, right after I got my license approved. So I have a ticket, so I can get on the ham bands. So this is a really nice digital radio. It's low cost, easy to program, and the firmware is kind of hackable. So we hacked the firmware in the last show, which I think was 2 or 3 weeks ago, and then we had Amanda, the Wozniak, come by, and we actually did a QSO with this radio, which is very exciting. It was my first time on a radio. But today I thought I would show how to actually program in this radio with a code plug, which is basically information about the local repeater you've got in your area and how to basically configure it. And I might even show how to, under Windows, upload the user CSV, the database of DMR to call sign to names, which you can upload to the radio using Travis Goodspeed's awesome MD-380 tools. Just takes a little bit of noodling in Windows, but I thought I'd show that. If you're on a Mac or Linux, you'll probably be like, wow, Windows totally sucks. But hey, you know, it's the most popular operating system, and it's worth showing people. So that's what I thought I would do tonight. Sound good? Mm-hmm. All right, just make sure Mr. Lady Ada approves of,
All good.
Of what we're working on. So yes, this is the radio, and let's just go quickly to the overhead. And it's super dark, and that's okay, because that way you can see the screen. And I have this set up, I can make it a little bit brighter. I have it set up so this is blank. It actually is the default data that comes with the radio. I actually had it before set up so it would have the K2 Mac repeater built in, but I basically wiped that clean so you can see there's really nothing going on here. It just says empty channel, and then there's one analog channel if you would like. So what we need to do is actually program the radio in and tell it the frequencies and color code and all that stuff of the local repeater. And the bad news is you can't do it through the keypad, but also that's kind of good news, because if you could do it through the keypad, you'd go a little crazy because there's a lot of information. So let's go to the computer. Okay, and I've just plugged in my programming, oh, hold on. I plugged in my programming cable into the mic and headphone, booted up again, and this time it will come up. This is something you're going to have to get used to. You're going to use the device manager to see what driver you have loaded in. So right now I've got the STM device in DFU mode. That driver is the driver you're going to use if you ever want to communicate to the radio using the official Tytera software, such as the firmware upgrader, the code plug updater, or whatever other configuration utility that works over USB. They use the default STM driver. But let's say you wanted to use the MD-380 tools to upload the user CSV files. Very handy. So let's go to Sigwin. If you remember from the last time, we did the compilation of the firmware. So now that that's done, let's flash in, and I actually have a tutorial that I wrote, so I'm going to crib from my tutorial. You want to run make flash db. And this will download the latest user file, because of course, every day, the user ID gets updated. And you'll notice that you're going to get this error number 88, operation not supported or unimplemented on this platform. And you're like, no, what does that mean? It means that the driver you have is not the correct driver. Since we're using PyUSB, libUSB to talk to this device, you can't use the default STM driver. What you have to do instead is put in a shell driver, basically like it's a light coding of a driver. It doesn't actually have any of the interface capabilities that would let you do DFU mode. It just lets you send and receive basically raw packets, control packets or data packets using libUSB. Luckily, there's some great tools that make this super easy to do. So let me find my utility directory. You'll want to run a program called Zadig, or Zadig. I don't actually know how to pronounce it. This is a super, super handy program if you're doing any kind of Windows engineering or electrical engineering. This is one of the ones I'm going to add to my tutorial of all the useful engineering tools that you want under Windows, because it lets you basically uninstall the default driver and install this libusb shell driver instead. So first, tell it to list all devices, and then find the device that says patched MD-380. Okay, so that uses the ST Tub 30. I don't know what Tub 30 stands for, but ST is the ST microcontroller. And the USB VAD and PID are going to be DF11 and 483. And you're going to want to change that driver from ST-Tub to libusb-K, which will, again, make that shell, that lovely gazing ball of a driver. Click Replace, and it'll say, are you sure you want to do this? Click Yes, I'm so sure. And then this time when you look at the device manager, let's give it a second. Hey, not responding. That's interesting. Was already done it. Actually installed the driver. It's under libusb-K USB devices. So it's no longer down here as an STM DFU. It's up here as a libusb-K. And of course, the dig decides to crash. But whatever, that's cool. Later. Oh, it's all good. Okay, so now when we run make flash db, if I am correct, it should still download that user data, but this time it will actually write. So it's going through and it's erasing the SPI flash where it normally would store that user database. And apparently if you have the VHF version, I think, not the UHF, I can't remember which way it went. The 150 megahertz version of this radio, not the 430 megahertz version, you're going to, you might have a 1 megabyte flash. It looked like there's people had some GitHub issues with that. So if this fails, it could be because you have the wrong size flash, which is a little sad. Maybe you could open it up, desolder the 1 megabyte, put in a 4 megabyte. They only cost like 30 cents, so I'm surprised that they cheaped out on it. But if you have the full 4 megabytes, you could just like upload the entire database. So here you go. It's shoving all that data. Shove, shove, shove. This is what it's basically doing. Control packets. And then it will reboot your radio. Okay, so you now have the user database, which is handy. Now, you can't really tell that you have the user database. I don't think there's any way to have the, I don't know, as of the last firmware, there was no way for you to ask it like, hey, how many entries? But just, you know, if it succeeds here, it succeeds. So having done that, you actually, if you end up trying to run the Tytera software now, which is, oh, that's interesting. What's it called? Oh man, it's because I changed the, it was here. I'll find it in a moment. But when you finish using the Cygwin tools, the MD-380 tools, you'll have to uninstall the driver because the Tytera software can't use this patched MD-30 libusb driver. It has to use the STM DFU driver. So uninstall and delete it, and then basically hard reset the radio. And this will get it to come back to the old driver. So now we're back in the STM device in DFU mode. So now I have to remember where the Tytera software was, like TYT. Oh man, I don't know where the heck it installed. MD-380? Yeah, the software is called MD-380. So when you run this software, it actually doesn't connect on start. What you have to do is the read data. And then you click OK. It will read data from the radio. And you'll get that unique device ID and your firmware version. And this one, again, this is blank. So this is the empty code plug. You've got the zone. Oh, I hate this. User interface is a little iffy. So basic information, menu item. Okay. You've got basic information. This is a little bit of a weird user interface. Like it opens these like mini windows. I don't see why it lets you change the frequency. I don't think that would work. But anyways, this is the frequency it's set to. You can put in your DMR ID here. So I'm actually going to do that now. Let me see what my ID was. 313-6923. 313-6923. And while I'm at it, I'm going to save. And I'm going to save this as 313-6923 code plug. So now I have this radio's set up. Okay, so I'm going to see if I can remember how to do this. So next up, you have to figure out what repeater you want to program in, of course. And the repeater I'm going to use is I ended up sort of, looking around. There's actually quite a few repeaters in the area. So I might end up at some point programming in multiple ones. But in order to speak with friendly neighbor Travis Goodspeed, KK4ZZC, and it's really hard to pronounce call sign there, Travis. It's almost like you did it on purpose. He can only talk to New York on talk group 2, which is sort of like a chat room, basically. It's like a user group or a Usenet group. Not all talk groups are carried by all repeaters, and you want to find the minimal repeater that is available to you and your friendly neighbor. So if my friendly neighbor is in New York, it's really easy because I can use any repeater because all the repeaters are going to carry the local New York talk group, which is basically talk group 2. But if you want to talk to somebody outside of your local area and even outside your local group of repeaters, like say your friendly neighbor in Philadelphia, you want to make sure that their group call, their talk group, is a talk group that's covered by you. So basically you have to both look at your repeaters that you can connect to and see what is like the minimal match. Like what group can they use that you can also use that is the smallest group possible. Of course, you can always use the worldwide group, but that's a little nutty. Like you maybe want to avoid doing that. Instead, stick to regional talk groups. Of course, if they're on the same repeater, you can even do direct. But if you can, or if they're really close by, you can do direct. If they're on the local repeater, maybe you can even make up your own talk groups. But in this particular case, for my friendly neighbor in Philadelphia, the minimal talk group that we can both use is group call 2, New York, New Jersey Metro. So his repeater, for example, he might be using WB3EHB, which carries 4 talk groups worldwide, US English, Northeast, and New York, New Jersey Metro. So the closest repeater to me is K2Mac, which is actually on top of the, not World Trade, the Empire State. And there's actually some cool photos. Let me see if I can grab them because they were pretty neat. Yes, this is a photo from the repeater. So you can see like all of New York and like beyond. It's the tallest area. I don't know how on earth you get a repeater onto the Empire State. Like, do you work there? Do you have friends there? Do you like rent space? I don't know. This is kind of a mystery to me. But this is the area that you can reach with this repeater. So that's really awesome. So thank you, K2Mac, for somehow getting a 100-watt repeater on the top of the Empire State. Super jealous. I wish I could just put electronics wherever I wanted. Okay, so we've got this K2Mac, and this actually carries a whole bunch of talk groups. But let's look at this photo. So okay, so this is just a screenshot of the repeater directory. So this is where it is: Midtown, Herald Square. You can do group call 1 worldwide, group call 13 worldwide English, call 3 North America, 3172 is Northeast Regional. 2 TAC groups, which I actually didn't quite research. I don't know exactly what those are in, but I guess they might be some sort of private group or net groups. And then, of course, that group call 2. That's the one that I really want to use because that lets me talk to my friendly neighbor. All right, so there's also another repeater, NY4Z. This one carries 1, 3, 13, 14, which the other one doesn't, so Latin America. And also the Bronx Turbo local. So if I want to talk to Latin America, I'd have to use this repeater. But if I just want to talk to New York, New Jersey Metro, I'd have to use K2 Max. So you basically choose the repeater that carries the groups that you need. And of course, the more groups it carries, the more busy it's likely to be. So there's a trade-off there. If you carried every single talk group, it would be constantly busy because it would be opening up for every message that could be directed towards that group. All right, so that's so far. Are there any questions? Okay, great. So either I'm making a fool of myself or I'm making a ton of sense. So that's great. Either way. Okay, so this is actually where I end. My tutorial kind of ends because I didn't get to the end of this. But basically, you install the driver and run this program, and now you're ready to remember how to do this. I can also always open up my previous group because I have an already made code plug. But starting from scratch, I got to remember how I did this. So let me see if I've got my. I thought I had a one moment. Okay, do have my configs. So this is my setup. Okay, so make sure I'm going to be able to reproduce this. Okay, so the first thing you're going to do is set up the channel. And it seems to me, again, I'm not formally trained in making program code plugs, but you want to have one channel per talk group. That's actually the easiest way to do it. And you can have multiple zones for different repeaters, but basically you usually stick with one repeater, and then your channels are all of the different talk groups that you might want to talk on that repeater. So let's start with channel 1, which I'll make the New Jersey, New York local. And let's go back to that photo we had of. Okay, so this is K2 Mac. So, and this is transmitting on 448.275, and then -5 means it's receiving on that -5 megahertz. So let's start by setting this up. We're going to call this K2 Mac New York, New Jersey. And programming this 448.275. 448.275. And then this is 5 megahertz less, so 443.275. Okay. And then save early and often. We have to program in the color code. Color code is 3. That's right here. So that's set up. I don't know exactly why you would have a specific color code. Maybe it could have multiple color codes. And then there's 2 time slots because it's TDMA. So depending on what group you're trying to call, it's going to have a different time slot. So it looks like they let all of these groups use time slot 1. But if you're doing group call 2, that's time slot 2. So this one is going to be slot 2. And let's see if I can remember the contact name, group list. Okay, contact name is where I will put the actual group itself. Okay, so having done this, I mean, you can set other things, but pretty much, you know, this is pretty much set. The bandwidth is set. The digital mode is set. Scan list, I don't remember the scan list. I'll check that out. Okay, so we made that one channel. And, okay, this is where we create the digital contacts. Oh man, I gotta remember how I did the whole thing. Okay, so we're gonna call this talk group 2, and this is a group call ID 2 because it's 2, and actually should be. I'll make this short. TG2, NY, New Jersey, Metro. Yep, NJNY. New Jersey comes first. Metro, talk group 2. Okay, so that, and what's weird is you don't do anything. Like once you type it, that's actually saved. So that's kind of weird. And, oh no, it didn't save the call ID. Okay, so let's go back and forward. Okay, that seems to have worked. And then contact name actually will automatically set because it's the only one. And then group list. Ooh, I have to remember which one. Amateur. It's already in here. Okay, so this is the group list, and I can call this something a little bit more useful. And I think that's actually pretty much it. Let's see, what did I have before? System none. No emergency system. Okay, so let me save. And let's make another, let's call the one called worldwide. We'll add basically everything that is carried. Worldwide is group call 1. Worldwide English is group call 13. So here I can add all of the different talk groups. Northeast Regional 3172. Okay. I'm going to skip the TAC groups. So I got 1, 13, 3, and 2. Okay, I think that's fine. And then maybe I'll add my my neighbor as an individual. So DMR mark, I can look up. Let's look up KK4VZC. Oh man, why is this not? Did I mistype it? V. Let's try friendly neighbor. Oh, I must have mistyped it. Okay, so DMR ID 313690. And let's see, Travis, New York City. Oh, you can't paste. Oh, shoot. 313690. 313690. And this is not a group call. This is a private call? I don't know. Find out. No, don't reset it. Oh, I just deleted it? Yeah, this software is like the best. Okay. Save. Okay, so I think I can just add all of these to my group list. And then here, I guess it means I can receive any of those groups. But since it's on repeater slot 2, it's actually only going to receive the talk group 2. I think that's how it works. And then maybe let's make another one called, oh, here's something interesting. So you can copy and then paste on top, and it will fill everything out for you except for the channel name. So I've got the frequencies all set up for me, and it still has it has basically like all the settings that I had before, but it doesn't change the name. So then I can call this, maybe I'll call this K2 Mac, and then I'll call this New England. So that's good, I think. And then I can paste on top of here, copy, paste, and then maybe I'll make worldwide English. I wonder if RX only means I won't accidentally like talk on it, which I think would be cool because I don't want to have the cat, steal the radio and accidentally talk on the worldwide band. Worldwide English. Okay, so I think this is pretty good. I think I got it all set. We'll find out. Scan list. Maybe I'll add these on my scan list. That actually don't know. I don't know what the scan list does exactly. I'm all learning this stuff. Basic information. I think that's pretty much it. Everything else is settings. All these settings you can, if you want to like change like keyboard lock and the button definitions and what they do, and like I guess privacy settings. Nothing really I'm too interested in. Okay, so let's save. Okay, so we saved it. So let's now program this in. So now all you do is type in write data, and you have to click OK. It's writing data. Writing the data. And what's nice is that like, you can basically configure this all you want, and then when you're ready, you just upload it to your radio. So you can like add as many repeaters and groups and whatever you like, and then when you're ready, and like as you learn about more talk groups, or you want like more people that you want to add as quick contacts, I mean you can enter the simple contacts through the user interface, but if you want to have a whole bunch of them, or you're traveling, you look up a repeater, you can program it in and basically switch around which file you're running. So once you have data write suck, which means data write success, I don't think nobody knows how to spell success, I guess. So you can turn this on. Okay, so can we go to the hover cam? Let's see. This has a, there you go. Let me, actually, while I'm here, I'm going to change the backlight so it's 15 seconds. I'm going to set it always on, so that way I can demo a little easier. And let me make sure that my number, okay, so my number is in there, so that's good. And nobody's, it's actually a pretty quiet repeater, but now, so I've got K2MAC, New York, New Jersey, and then, this gets a little cut off, but New England Regional and Worldwide English, but nobody's talking on them, so that's okay. But if I let this sit for a bit, somebody would eventually call on it. And, once I've had it on New York, New Jersey for a bit, and like basically, once every hour or two, like I'd hear a short call out. Somebody was like trying to communicate with somebody, but I've never actually heard more than like one conversation. It's a pretty quiet talk group, I guess. So I don't know, it's gonna hang out, but that's it. Programmed your radio. So now you can talk to your friendly neighbors.
Okay, and that was tonight's Ham Sunday.
Yay!
All right, well, let's let this go, and we'll keep listening in.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I got it set up. That would be makes it
Okay.
pretty loud.
If you like programming like this, please stop by the adafruit.com site and pick up a kit. That's how we do this.
Yeah, I don't even sell radios. This is just for fun.
Yeah. So we'll have some Just Lady Ada this week. I think we have a pseudo random coming up, and Ask an Engineer and Show and Tell and more.
Yeah.
It's all good.
Okay, well, I got this radio programmed. I think I did it right. And I'll upload, once I get like my code plug set up, I will upload it to the tutorial. I'll make that tutorial live as well, because I did get a bunch of screenshots with all the
Yeah, those are the two
installation.
questions. One was the tutorial going to be live, and the other one is where can you get the radio that you have?
Just want to see Mr. Morgan.
Oh, actually, W2AIK just said something, but I wasn't paying attention. So
I
yeah.
think you said you wanted to see if this is working.
Really?
But where'd you get this radio?
You can get this radio actually from there's a huge number of distributors online that sell the MD-380. I don't have any in particular that I recommend, but if you Google for MD-380, or you have a local ham supplier that you like, they will carry. It's quite popular. There's like 10 different local suppliers that sell this radio.
Yeah. Can you talk back to the person who wants to see it's working? Maybe you can say, hi, it's working. What's the protocol?
Oh, I don't remember their
Oh, hi,
call
over.
sign. Yeah, it was W2AIQ. See, this is I should have been paying attention.
What's the worst that can happen?
Well, I can call Travis. I'll see if he's there.
All right, we're here. May as well do it.
Okay. KK4VZC. This is AC2SN. Nope, I don't think he's there. He's probably having fun. He's probably hacking his radio.
This is fun. All right.
Yeah, a little quiet. Everybody's doing their laundry.
Okay. All right. Well, that's Ham Sunday, folks.
Okay, well, I'll leave this on if anybody wants to say hi on the
Fine, K2JRC.
K2JRC. Okay, there's some people hanging out. If you're K2JRC, hello.
Okay. All right. So we'll see you during the week. Thanks,
All
everybody.
right, thanks, everybody.
Boop.